Hello, everybody. Welcome back to your daily crypto news. Hope that you're all doing well and that you're all having a fantastic day. As always, leaving a like, leaving a comment, or subscribing, or leaving another comment, or trying to hit the like button again the first time after you already did it. These things are always very much appreciated. And without further ado, let's jump right into it. So you guys know the deal. The crypto market is all over the place. This is relatively nothing new and is at this point just a little bit expected. It says Bitcoin and $40,000. Which way will Bitcoin seesaw next? Yes. At the moment, for some reason, we are in allegedly, another relatively tight range price movement for Bitcoin. I believe, according to what I've seen online and people showing their charts, we are flowing anywhere between the $40,500 to $38,000 range. A lot of people are expecting some major movements in the near term, especially as you'll see in a couple of seconds. It says technical analysis. Bitcoin near make or break levels, why the 100 SMA is the key. And this one says Bitcoin market stays fearful for the third straight week. Yes, I've seen this article going around, or this discussion going around. It was first started by the former, I don't know if he still works there, BitMEX CEO. His name is Arthur Hayes, who announced that he foresees that by May and going into June, we will see a dramatic price drop for Bitcoin. He is part of the group of people who believe that Bitcoin has to dramatically fall down. I've seen a number of analysts from larger banks. I don't have the discussions on the screen because why would I have 900 tabs at the very top? Where they're saying that they think that the relative stability of Bitcoin right now is actually quite appealing to a number of investment firms and a number of other banks or institutions who may be thinking of getting into the space. They prefer to get into an asset that they can see has some type of relative stability and or continuously retries previous lows to see that there is definitely a bottom off in the price. As I've read around, no one knows if this is going to be true because many times before over the last couple of years, we've heard that Bitcoin is going to drop to 1,000. Bitcoin goes up to 26,000. We've heard that Bitcoin has to retest 4,000. Bitcoin goes to around 22, 23,000 and keeps on moving it back up. We've heard many times that Bitcoin has to drop, and only a fraction of the times has it actually done so. Usually, historically, if it does fall, we tend to see a great movement back upward. The current mantra is Bitcoin is trying to do something, but for some reason it cannot make those numbers, and therefore a lot of people believe that a retest is required of previous lows. I think the lowest I've seen was the $30,000 mark. People talking about Ethereum has to hit somewhere around 2,000, level off, and if we can bounce off from those numbers, those are the, pivotal points for reaching a new all-time high. Once again, this is not my technical analysis. I simply bring you the news because I've been having a lot of conversations with a lot of friends and other people, especially very recently, and we've come to the dramatic conclusion that for some reason, everyone in the market, I'm going to say 99.9% of people at this point believe that prices should be a lot higher. But for some reason, the analysts within the space are looking at charts in a different way, regardless of accumulation or regardless of adoption, supply and demand, what have you. They believe that prices have to drop before we can go a lot higher. There is some, maybe it's not even around here, there is some optimistic outlook for the end of the year. A lot of major cryptocurrency analysts within, I think, the YouTube space. I'm not really sure. There's so many people floating around who do think that June, July is kind of the time frame where we see a reverse. A lot of them thinking that we are basically mimicking the last couple of years, even the 2017 sentiment. For those of you who don't remember 2017 that well, prices began to rise around January, February. Everyone was like, wow, this is amazing. Prices are going up. By the time we got to April and May, I remember it very clearly. I think Ethereum was $12, $13, $14, $15, and everyone was like, well, that's as high as it's going to go. We slid a little bit sideways during the summer. June, July, we started moving back up. And then before you knew it, we hit those crazy numbers in 2017. So something is going to happen. Not to be cynical, but there must be a market movement. It is going to move either up or down. It says technical analysis. Ethereum faces key challenge why fresh decline is still possible. I don't think that Ethereum or many other altcoins, going to be completely honest with you, are facing any key hurdles or challenges or difficulties. It's Bitcoin. Bitcoin has to move up for the rest of the market to move up. We've seen this thousands and thousands of times. Any type of rally that many coins might have are usually short-lived unless they're really propelling forward with some type of release or something is going to be happening. We could also be seeing a lack of momentum in Ethereum simply because of the announcement of the delay in the upgrade. I always wish in these situations that we at least had a bit more information as to why there was a delay or exactly what's going on. I think for investor confidence, but I think that also then drags them a little bit into the movement of this is a security because people are, expectation of profit and all those other things. But it's been 7 years. Where's the upgrade? And when we eventually do have the upgrade, will this actually provide us with some type of a relief rally, if you will, because the expectations have grown extremely high. There are many other coins out there that are basically doing the exact same thing as Ethereum, but they don't have to transition to proof of stake because they already have proof of stake. So it's kind of this really weird in-between time for it. It says Ethereum is unable to push above 2,900 as further price drop might follow. Yeah, I mean, I say this often, go for it. If it's going to happen, just let it happen right now. It's a very weird sentiment in the air for this space. A lot of the holders believe that prices should be going higher, or just based off of the general news. And I'll repeat this once again. There is no other market that you will ever be in that will have had such great positive news over the course of a 6-month period, and prices would have dropped. If you ever get a chance to, I don't know if any of you look at stocks at all. If you ever like Yahoo Finance, if you scroll down on Yahoo Finance, you can actually see when you're under the name of a stock, you'll see the actual news for that stock, like almost constantly. The idea being is that if you plan on investing in something or if you have invested in something, you can get a constant news update to see if you want to continue to remain in that market, if things are looking bullish or bearish, optimistic, what have you, so on and so forth. And a lot of stocks you can even look at even over the last couple of months when things have been trending sideways downward. You can see, price rise, and you start reading the news beneath it, even for the last 2 or 3 weeks if you continue to scroll down. And it's incredible news. It's investor confidence. It's stock buybacks. It's all these other things. And it's like, oh, yeah, the price is actually reflecting it. But in the cryptocurrency space, in this weird paradoxal place, it doesn't seem to happen the same for us. So part of the one of the most popular news stories of the day, it says Bitcoin and Ethereum consolidate. An ApeCoin has jumped. Yes. At the moment, ApeCoin is the best performing coin within the top 30, top 40 coins or something like that. I think it's currently up by 9% over the last 24 hours, around 30-something% over the last week. It says top reasons why ApeCoin's price hitting $25 seems imminent. There is a lot of movement around this coin right now. I think the first time that we spoke about ApeCoin openly was about a week or so ago when it was hovering around $12. And I believe I mentioned to all of you, I was thinking of even looking into it and also picking up some as well. There's far too much momentum behind this coin. This is not financial advice. But the amount of movement with this coin is a little insane. The appeal of this NFT project for people who either have an ape or do not have an ape is quite large. I believe we have gotten news that within the next couple of days, there will be the release of their metaverse. I have not looked too deeply into it per se, but the rumors I've been seeing have said that the only way to pay for said land in this metaverse will be through ApeCoin. And I think that's going to be a major catalyst moving forward. We also have the movie trilogy that's going to be released for this coin. I think there's a TV show. There's also some toys coming out. It's looking to be a major franchise. I will tell you now, as you know, you're the first to know. I definitely plan on buying some of this. This is the actual, if you can, usability and utility of this coin that I like to actually see. I think it's cool when a coin drops and everyone has a lot of hope and, feelings for it. But hearing the 9 other things that are going to be attached to this coin, the potential goodness, niceness, beauty of the upcoming movies. If the movies work out and they look really nice, I don't know if you've seen the trailer, I think it is, whatever launched 3 or 4 days ago for the upcoming release of their metaverse. At least I think it was. I have no idea what's really going on. There's so many videos and movies popping up all the time. It looks beautiful. If they can have some good laughs in there, I think the project will continue to take off. So at the moment, this is the most popular news story or altcoin news story, if you will, of the day, besides Bitcoin going down. That was, popularly unpopular. It also says ApeCoin is now the biggest metaverse token. Moving away, I think AXS is Axie Infinity, Decentraland, and Sandbox in a very short period of time. There's also rumors. I do not know if these are true. Please, as always, do your own research. There are rumors of further airdrops, which has been happening a lot if you've paid attention to a lot of other apps or other things that have NFTs. There's usually a this comes with this and then that comes with that, and if you hold this coin you end up getting more things. It's kind of like the promise that we had years ago from EOS. The idea of holding EOS was that you would continuously receive airdrops from other things being built on the ecosystem within the space. Yeah, so no one knows if there are explicitly going to be any new further airdrops, but I think the coin, myself, when I've looked at the actual numbers, I think it has a lot higher to go. We may see most definitely a pullback in price once a metaverse has been released. That seems to be completely logical because people love that sell the news crap. But long term, as far as holding this coin, if this is the only way to pay for land in their metaverse, this is going to, I think, be quite spectacular, especially if there is some type of other release of an NFT for simply holding the land as well. So you see where this is all going. Yeah, I think that was the ApeCoin news. I mean, there were a lot more tabs, but this is what's currently there. On top of that, this was a couple of hours ago. It says 10 hours ago, but it still matches into it, and I'll tell you exactly how. It says Bitcoin falls below $38,000 as tech stocks sell off. Following into this deep correlation of us and the stock market, Bitcoin and the wider cryptocurrency market fell a couple of hours ago because the stock market does not look too healthy. It's not looking too good. There was a bit of a slight recovery in stock prices, and it also, the cryptocurrency market mimicked the exact same thing. So Bitcoin fell down to 38,000, is currently at I wish it was 93,000, 39,000 and some change. And that's mainly because the stock market also moved back up as well. It says U.S. stocks rose on Wednesday afternoon to recover some losses after the major equity indexes slid a day earlier, as concerns over inflation and global economic growth stirred up further volatility across risk assets. A lot of we are lumped into the tech stock sector. For those of you who did not know that, whenever historically the last year we've seen tech stocks do extremely well, as we are those are considered risky assets, if you will, in the stock world. Bitcoin's price followed them upward, and now that they're falling down, also earnings reports have also not been very good from a lot of tech companies. I think a couple of hours ago there was announced that Facebook's numbers looked really good despite losing billions of dollars, because I think investors are worried that they haven't launched their metaverse yet, that they're losing money before they've launched their metaverse. The same story goes on and on. But a lot of the stock news, the traditional financial news, has to do with this incredible fear that the that the Federal Reserve is planning on raising rates. The idea being that if they raise rates, it'll stop more people from getting into other markets. It'll make investors more fearful to put their money into something that may continue to decline. I think it's also listed somewhere around in this one as well. It says Deutsche Bank has predicted a major U.S. recession next year. Them and a bunch of, I think 2 or 3 other banks have announced the general same thing. Deutsche Bank's economists have warned that the U.S. will suffer a major recession next year. However, several other major investment banks, including Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan, are less pessimistic about the future outlook for the U.S. economy. It says it somewhere around here. The idea is, if the Fed does not act quick enough, i.e. they've been talking about potentially raising rates, I think within the next week or two, we're supposed to have another discussion, another standing on a podium behind a microphone talk where they announce that they're going to be raising them higher or leaving them exactly where they are. If they continue to wait, the idea is this may be detrimental for the economy. Is kind of if they do it sooner, if they do it now, we know exactly what the numbers are. Everyone else can kind of work around them. It is very annoying to constantly be at the behest of every single regulator, financial money printer, every single year, every single corner of our lives. Alas, that is just where we are. So that's all the price news. I know it was a lot, but there's a lot to constantly discuss. Bitcoin looks like it's going to continue to move sideways, and if not, or move downwards, if we get any type of indication that the Fed relatively soon is going to be releasing some type of information that they're going to be raising interest rates. What's the other part? Ethereum's not looking too hot. That's their fault for waiting so long to have the upgrade. ApeCoin is looking a little spicy, if you can say that. Simply because of all the things that they have lined up for it. And a couple of banks think that we are going to see a recession. There's no longer a talk of a depression. It's more of a things aren't looking too hot, and they won't be hot for a while until we finally get this inflation thing under control, which is probably never going to happen. That's all the price news. And yeah. Let's move on. In one of the most popular news stories of the day, and I didn't think it was going to be that popular, Dubai is quickly emerging as the crypto hub of the world. And this is thanks to its crypto-friendly policies. On Wednesday, the 27th of April, Dubai's largest real estate developer, Damac Properties, said it would start accepting crypto payments in Bitcoin and Ethereum against property sales. The real estate giant said that introducing property sales will revolutionize the real estate market in Dubai. Besides, cryptocurrencies also bring convenience and optionality, to property developers worldwide. Speaking to the Khalij Times, Ali Sajwani, general manager of the operation, said the move towards customers holding cryptocurrency is one of our initiatives to accelerate the new economy for newer generations and for the future of our industry. It is crucial for global business. Yada, 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 yada. They always, and I hate those press releases because it's always meant to be like, but we're doing this for you. I told you thousands of times before, when any company is accepting cryptocurrencies, listen, I don't know what's in their heart. They may explicitly be accepting cryptocurrencies as a form of payment because they really do want to help people who are holding these coins. But it's usually, if you're the largest real estate developer in that region, I'm going to assume that you yourself understand the potential future price power of Bitcoin and Ethereum, and you're trying to accumulate more yourselves. That's usually what it ends up coming down to. But not to, rain on their parade. This actually is quite significant. We typically see a domino effect in the world whenever you have any larger entities doing something, everyone else who is, dare I say, below them money-wise, tends to end up doing the exact same thing. So expect news by next year that there are going to be, by next month, that there are going to be 3 more property development somethings within Dubai who are also accepting Bitcoin. And then by next summer, we're going to have some type of news that all of them are now accepting it, and just how kind of things go. This is, to see Bitcoinization happening every day in front of our eyes is quite spectacular. Without having to do any go-arounds or transfers or optional this, we are going to see within the next 2 years that everyone simply just accepts Bitcoin as a payment option. Also, Dubai is relatively attractive as a place to live because they do have, I think it's 0% income taxes, which is a very, very big thing for a lot of people. So yeah, I wasn't expecting this to be that popular, but alas, it was. So if you've been looking to buy property in Dubai and you got some crypto, that's where you probably should be heading. That's the colorful Dubai's billionaires real estate firm now accepts Bitcoin and Ether news. Sure, why not? And yeah, let's move on. Also in popular news, I'm not really sure what's going on. This in really weird. This is more popular than the news that comes after it, which actually came out a couple of days ago that people are just figuring out right now. The market's not that smart. After months of anticipation, Brazil has finally passed a bill establishing the country's crypto framework. Before the president put the bill into law, it must be approved by the Chamber of Deputies. By the end of this year, it will be expected to be operational. The most populous country in South America is progressively building laws for its digital asset ecosystem. According to a local newspaper, the Senate passed a bill to provide a complete regulatory framework for Bitcoin and altcoin transactions. I think we heard of last year, I think a lot of cryptocurrency exchanges began to receive licenses. I'm pretty sure it was from Brazil. I remember reading like the biggest country in South America news, something like that. A virtual asset, according to the Senate bill, is a digital representation of value that can be traded or transferred electronically, including payments and investments. Local cryptocurrency providers should only be authorized to operate within the country according to the bill, and would require them to seek a license from a federal public administration body or entity. So silver lining and then more realistic conversation. The silver lining is that anytime we have any country who is not banning crypto, and I dare use the terrible term, allowing their citizens to be able to invest in crypto, it is a great day for the space. When I've read through a little bit of this and I looked at the actual news, it appears that, as we just went over, people will only be able to do business within the borders of that country. I don't understand. And I mean, and not in a joking way. I mean, I do not get how you are able to right now take out your phone, take a picture, and send it to 500 friends on your phone, and they would all instantaneously get it regardless of where they were on the planet. Here's an even crazier one. You are able to write a book, write a passage, write whatever you want, and email it to thousands of people around the world, and they would all get it instantaneously. Around the world, not just within the country of which you live, but whenever it comes to anything money, we constantly get this, you can only do business within these borders. We live in a world, this is how I feel, and many people in my generation, I'm not sure if you all feel the same, that is basically post-borders. The idea even of a passport, try to sit down and think of the idea of a passport. It is 15 pieces of paper that are glued together that has numbers inside of it and your photo, and that's what's required for you to travel around the world. If you don't have this book of papers, you can't step over a border. It doesn't really make a lot of sense. So the idea that, especially us, you would understand this more if you're in the cryptocurrency space, we know what it's like to deal with a cryptocurrency exchange or something else 15 countries away. And you click enter and you buy crypto from them. It's instantaneous. You can move money around the world, value through cryptocurrencies, right now on your phone through an app to another wallet. You can live in Brazil. You can say, I want to send 1 million Satoshis to my friend on the Lightning Network who lives in Tokyo. And you can do it instantaneously. I think a lot of the countries who are allowing cryptocurrencies to be legal within their countries consistently put out laws that you can only do this, you have to seek out a license, but this only will further push people away into a more Binance type of stance. I think Binance got really big really fast, and this is why all the regulators had a problem with them, because they allowed people to basically, in a way, maybe not meaning to do so, circumvent the actual things that are in place that stop people from only, you can only use Binance in Ireland, you can only use Binance in France, Binance Dubai, that's about it. It doesn't make any sense for the actual freedom and flowment, not a word, of the actual coins. Like, even if you think of the idea that before all of these regulations came into place, how were you sending Bitcoin? You were doing it through your computer, either through your phone, an app in some sort of way. But think of tubes. Now, here's a little weird. Think of the actual internet tubes or the actual satellites in the air, depending on how you're thinking of using internet. And you are sitting in California and you're sending coins to Brazil. There was no real stopping of that. But the idea that if you want to do it now, it has to go through Coinbase, and then it has to hit another point, and then it has to hit another check in Brazil before going to the actual crypto. It's the same exact way that the old system worked. The way that the old system worked was because governments believed that if there was any capital outflow from their country, they wanted to know about it. It's the problem that they had years ago in China. People realized that the country was different and they were trying to take their money out of the country, and they were buying tons of property in Vancouver or in New York or in Paris or in London. And then the government was like, hey, you can't do that because it's denominated in our currency. Now, imagine the U.S. has the U.S. dollar, Europe has the euro. African countries have 15, 16, 20 different currencies as well. Now, erase all of those from your mind and just put Bitcoin. Why is there a need for capital control when these countries do not create or control Bitcoin? Why is there a control of the movement of funds when it is a network that they do not have power over? Can you understand the concept? I know it's a little weird to think about, but the idea is they don't want US dollars leaving their country and being then sold off, weakening the US dollar as money pushes into Canada. So you need to have capital controls to be able to see when your country is weakening because of the amount of money flowing out of it. But what happens when people aren't using the dollar anymore, aren't using the Canadian dollar anymore, aren't using the Brazilian real? They're simply using Bitcoin or even Ethereum, whatever coin you want to put into that space. Fine, throw your coin's name in there. You can say Solana if you want. You get what I'm saying? So it's this really weird, you can use it, but it has to fall under the purview of the same old country. I think in the next couple of years, we're going to see a very dramatic shift as more crypto adoption is obviously continuing. I think a lot of other new decentralized exchanges are going to be at the forefront of the space. A lot of other exchanges are going to start popping up that won't have a lot of these restrictions. And people will simply not use the ones that need or require some type of a license to actually do work. I was trying to, I won't tell you the crypto exchange. I was trying to buy a cryptocurrency yesterday. I'm so used to living in the crypto, I've been here for so long. And it makes sense because the world moves a lot faster when you are in crypto or in blockchain. I was trying to buy some coin, won't tell you what coin or what exchange, and it said I had to transfer some dollars into it. And I was like, okay, cool. That makes a lot of sense. So in my mind, I had to give my banking information to be able to transfer some of the money. I've been in crypto for so long that I sat, as I entered, was doing the whole banking thing. And you click, enter ahead. It says deposit should be there within 5 to 7 days. And I was like, 5 to 7 hours. And I was like, no. That says days. It's weird to even think that we were using the old system before. Why? Okay. I'm going to move on from here. But you get what I'm saying, right? The old system is so clunky and slow. Why is it taking 5 to 7 days to transfer any type of value from my bank account to my crypto exchange account so that I can actually buy cryptocurrencies? Very, very weird. And I wonder how long that structure is actually going to remain in place. Why don't banks have something where I can get like an instantaneous transfer? Why is it only crypto that can do that? Why is there such an idea of a hindrance of using cryptocurrencies? Why are there so many banks who continue to lie to be like, well, crypto's clearly not the future, when it actually is? The speed of movement, the freedom of movement. I go over the news every day, but I keep track of this in my mind as well. Exactly how long the old system is going to be around, or how long will it remain? Why are people still dealing with a 0.02% interest rate for their bank when, let's back it up, you can use a crypto exchange who has a stable coin that'll get you a 7 or 12% annual return rate? What happens when people find that out? There are billions of people on this planet right now who aren't into crypto because they've been lied to by a company, by a bank, by an institution, or by their government. They think it's an absolutely terrible space. Imagine telling someone, hey, dude, the current inflation rate is 8.9 something percent, but there's a stable coin that gets you above that. And you can use a stable coin, even legally. You can get a Coinbase card, or I think Kraken also has a card, and so does Binance. You can tap it the same as you would any other card. What happens when the world finds out? It's so weird. It's so weird to think of that we are still so far ahead, but so behind on so many things. Anyway, back to the topic at hand. It says Brazil finally passes its crypto and BTC regulatory bills. Once again, it's nice that this is happening, but it's still the old system sitting on top of Bitcoin, just trying to hold it down. And it says possibilities to make Bitcoin as legal tender are high. Don't hold your breath. I don't. I've heard before from documentaries and people who I've known have lived there who have since moved away that apparently the word corruption comes up, and apparently it's quite high. So I think this is why they've allowed Bitcoin in the country, but I don't think that any letting go of monetary power is going to be happening anytime soon in a number of countries. Anyway, that's the Brazil news. And yeah, let's move on. So let's go back a couple of minutes. Remember I told you that the Brazil news was more popular than this news that you currently see on the screen that you and I went over about 2 or 3 days ago that people kept on saying was fake, but then I was like, no, it's definitely not fake and it's actually real. For those of you not looking at the screen, it says it's official. Central African Republic makes Bitcoin legal tender. When we went over this, was it Monday? I believe it was Monday. And nobody paid attention to it. I was like, hey, look over here. Look at the news. There's a second country who has officially made Bitcoin legal tender. And everybody was like, no, man, all they did was sign a piece of paper that said that Bitcoin's legal. And I was like, no, I'm pretty sure Bitcoin's legal tender. And then for some reason last night, if you were on Twitter, you saw this, 15 different people at the same time started, they started listing on Twitter that this news had taken place. And I was like, well, yeah, it happened a couple of days ago. So then I retweeted it. And hello to you out there who were responding on my Twitter. They were like, yeah, I just saw people talking about this as well. And it happened a couple of days ago. So maybe everyone simply missed it. For those of you who don't know, there is a second country who has officially listed Bitcoin as legal tender. It's called the Central African Republic. If you don't know where it is, look at a map. It is literally in the center of Africa. So yeah. There's been a lot of news recently. I haven't had any of it here because I think it's written by people who don't have much time in their day. A lot of news is floating around that the adoption of Bitcoin within El Salvador isn't too hot right now, isn't going as planned. And when you read through the articles, it's talking about people in those countries who are, angry. We don't want Bitcoin. But that's a very small percentage of the population. Think of the world now. Think of any topic, anything. Think of something that's happened within the last 2 years and how many people have been yay and how many people have been nay. Even if you think of the idea of the US dollar, think of how many people don't like the US dollar in the United States. So there's always going to be an opposition and proposition, advocates of said thing. And the other part is they were talking about that not many people are downloading the Bitcoin app in El Salvador. And I'm not even a fan of said country. I've never been there, but I've heard news reports before. But it's also like, yeah, because Bitcoin's price is going down. How is anyone expected to be excited about adopting a new currency that they keep seeing drop every day in value? I also would be like, I'm going to keep using the paper money because, Bitcoin doesn't seem too good right now. But yes, I think this will make a very tiny splash. For some reason, anytime that any other country does anything optimistic, good, wonderful for the adoption of Bitcoin, people tend not to pay attention, especially if said country is not where they know where it is. So the moment we get any news that France or Ireland or America has adopted Bitcoin as legal tender, expect prices to go completely insane. Same exact thing with the whole Bitcoin ETF news. Still happening all around the world. All the Bitcoin ETFs keep appearing, but it's never major news until it's happened in America. That's just how the cryptocurrency space works. So yeah, second country. Right there. I guess that guy was correct. The president of El Salvador, he said he knew 3 other countries who were going to be announcing this year that they're accepting Bitcoin as legal tender. So I guess we got 2 more to go. Alrighty. Let's move on. Also in news, I guess, the New York State Assembly, this is, I guess, a runoff of yesterday's news. The news that we had yesterday was that apparently this was being written into law. Someone was talking about doing this going to happen. Apparently it has happened. The New York State Assembly has passed a bill late on Tuesday that would place a 2-year ban on all new proof-of-work cryptocurrency mining facilities in the state that use a carbon-based fuel to power their operations. The bill, sponsored by Anna Kells, would not only impose a 2-year hold on approval of any new Bitcoin mines, but the proposed moratorium would also prevent the renewal of permit issued to existing proof-of-work cryptocurrency miners using carbon-sourced energy if they seek to increase the amount of electricity consumed. And there's the tweet for it right here. So, the news that's floating around is New York has completely banned anything to do with Bitcoin. I saw a couple of articles like that. A lot of people were very upset. The other news being, what the actual news is that apparently if you are already mining Bitcoin, you can continue to do so under your current license. Got it. Anyone new looking to turn on their computers, and it's not simply anyone in their own homes, it is if you have a gigantic factory worth of Bitcoin mining machines, because I saw a lot of people talking about this was infringing on their freedom, and it's like, go to New Jersey, go to Connecticut, like just go somewhere else if it's really that bad for you. The idea is if you are a mega million, $100 million operation that is going to be beginning, they simply want you to simply just use green energy. I'm not sure if a lot of you have ever been to the States before. The air's gross. It's not that nice to breathe in. There are cars everywhere, not a lot of trees. It's not maybe I'm talking as a general in a general sense, but the part of the states where I've been, So, this isn't bad. The same exact way. I don't know why we keep getting news in the cryptocurrency space and everyone's like, oh my gosh, this is terrible. Why is this happening to us? There are already a number of companies, a huge amount of companies who are going to be continuing to mine Bitcoin. It's just that in the next 2 years, the government would like them to shift to solar power or wind energy or hydroelectricity, which is all very possible in many different places across the states. You are still able to buy graphic cards and mine some Bitcoin in your own house because you are probably not using carbon-based fuel to run those household operations. If you do decide to become a mega millionaire and or billionaire and you want to mine some Bitcoin in a factory, buy some solar panels. Go near a hydroelectric dam so you can get some renewable source of energy. The only people I really saw complaining about this at an upper level were the richest people who are going to be, I guess, the most affected by this. But then they make sure that this news trickles down to other people who don't have $1 million mining operations, and they tell you that it's a problem and that you should also be complaining about it. This will not affect 99.9% of the people on the planet. Dare I even say within New York State as well. There's so many. I'm going to make a little quick point, but it's just to let you really know exactly how the world works. I think it's been estimated by a number of larger entities and companies on the planet. They've done the calculations and they said, I think in order to end world hunger, think of this. To end world hunger, I think it's estimated you need around $6 billion. There are tons of people on the planet who have the means to end world hunger right now. Even if all the billionaires, 6 billionaires, put their fists together and formed Captain Planet with $1 billion, by the end of this year, we would have no more world hunger. Think of that. Why aren't they stepping forward to actually stop world hunger? The other part being, and you can probably only sit in a position to say, well, it's their money because you actually have food on your table. The second part being, when you think about so many other, there's a reason why we've seen so many companies, cryptocurrency mining companies, also just move to Texas or move to Alaska because they were like, hey, they're using, if I'm pretty sure, I think Texas has one of the largest solar mining fields and also one of the largest producers of wind energy. Why not just use what is renewable? I feel like if you're in the cryptocurrency mining space, why not from the get-go just make sure that you were buying solar panels and or linked to some type of renewable energy? Not only is it cheaper, but also you save tons of money in the long term. If you plan on mining Bitcoin for the next 20 to 30 years, I feel like I would definitely have solar panels from the very first day to be like, well, I own these solar panels. We're not on any other grid. Should there be any power outages, we're still good. Maybe I just don't have a carbon-based billionaire mindset. So this was also incredibly popular news. You can see all the really dramatic photos of the gavel falling onto Bitcoin. It says New York passes bill to block crypto mining using carbon energy. Yeah. If you are already doing it, you are allowed to do so. They're simply not issuing any more new licenses. But how many mega companies are really looking or were looking to get into crypto? Think of how few billionaires and millionaires were there who were targeting New York State as the place for them to start their crypto mining journey. Why not go upstate? Why not move to the north of Canada? It's pretty cold here. Anyway, that's the New York has passed that bill law news. Think of that. $6 billion to end world hunger. I know. Yeah, I know. It is kind of crazy, especially when you look at recent news. All right. And yeah, let's move on. As always, a very special thank you to my Patreon supporters. GBU Wally, Bubble Mode, How's Life Austin, Auspicious Agile and Blockchain, Jamie Saad, Blockchain Simplified, and let's move on. Empire Queen, Fud Weiser, Roman Geba, Bitcoin Ben, Arachno Dave, Tony Ambroski, The Dealer's Den, Captain Something in the Z-Way Lay, Mobarazi, VB Nerd, 21, Miguel Grolet, Lauren De Silva, Quoted Biddy, Troy Allgood, Space Case, Need a Miracle, Paternoster, Navarro Williams, Utopia 569, Moonman High, Zerp, Martin Steuer, Nostromo, John Sarson, The Animal Reader, A Bibliophobia, Todd Mullis, Adam Graysick, Wise Night Owl, 242 to the World, Bankroll Network, Crypto Artist, Cole D3D, Setsuna, Richie Rich III, Paxis, Nick Mangialavori, Jim Gardner, Jeremy Fox, Minting Coins, Yes to Crypto, Bodie McBoatface, Anytime Fitness, Monk's Corner Staff, Bake Me a Cake, Tigara, Macho Nisa, On Crypto with Lionel, and Grail and Michelle, URL. Thank you all very much for your continued support. Thank you to everyone who is a clicker of affiliate links. I do thank thee. Thank you to everyone who left a like, who has commented. If you are still here watching the video, type $6 billion in the comment section. At the moment, Bitcoin is at $39,403. It is up by 1.92%. That is the tiny little rally that we saw in the stock markets, especially in the futures. We are definitely, for some reasonably, linked to the stock market. Solana is up by 0.84. Terra Luna is up by 1.4 percentile points. Wrapped Bitcoin is also up. That's because it's wrapped Bitcoin. Cosmos is up by 2. ApeCoin is up by 9.97%. It is up by 35% over the last week. How insanato. Stellar is up by 1.7%. Anything else crazy? I don't think so. Anything else? Probably not. Oh, what the fudge is that? Stefan Gimete? Stefan Gimete. I don't know what this is. STEPNGMT is the name of the coin. It has a G with like the dollar lines going through it. I don't know what Stefan Gimete is, but it's up by 19% over the last 24 hours. Sure. Why not? Aave is up by 4. EOS is up by 0.87. I mean, I think EOS is the new IOTA. Where's IOTA on this list? Oh, okay. IOTA's number 57. Right. Yeah. I do hope that you've all enjoyed. I do hope that you all are having a great day, a great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I hope that it's wonderful. Thank you all once again for watching, listening, and or supporting, and I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.